It can't be any other language. So bil wada'i is a condition for mufid. Do you understand that? Bil wada'i is a condition for mufid. And mufid is a description of murakkab. And murakkab is a description of love. Do we understand where I'm coming from? Murakkab describes the type of love. Mufid further describes the type of murakkab. And bil wadi is a condition of its beneficiality. Okay? Does that make sense, everybody? Yeah. Okay, so can we go on? Inna al-kalama indana faltastami' lafdun murakkabun mufidun bil wada'i. That's what kalam is. Now it says aqsamuhu allati alayha yubna. Aqsamuhu. Aqsamu what? Aqsamul kalam. Right? Now we have the definition of what kalam is. Now we have to know how many parts there is of kalam. What types of kalam are there? How many types of kalam are there? There are 3 types of kalam. And remember, I go through this constantly again and again and again because knowledge is outlines. Knowledge is graphs. If you say here, kalam, right? That's kalam. Then you go here and say that it is made up of lafdhun, murakkab, mufid, and it's bil wada'i. I know you can't see this, but I'm just doing that. And all of that make up the word kalam. Right? We together? Yes. Then the next thing you say, it has 3 types. There are 3 types of kalam. Right? And what are the 3 types of kalam? There is an ismun. There is a fi'lun. There is a harfun. That's al ma'na. Right? Okay, so these are the 3 types of kalam. The 3 types. So we have the ismun, the fi'lun, the harfun that has a meaning. Not just any harfun. Harfun has a meaning. And if we want to know what an ismun is, it is what? It is a supernoun, okay? Da, 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 supernoun. But what does that mean? Now we're in English. What does that mean? It is a person, place, come on, fast, thing, or description. The reason, again, you have to teach this. You can't rely on somebody else. You have to teach and you have to know. Someone says, what's an ismun? You've been taking a class for 11 lessons. What's an ismun? Yeah, nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear supernoun. What do you mean supernoun? And then you can expound upon that. What is it though? As a technical term, it is a word. That points to a meaning in and of itself. That points to a meaning in and of itself. It is a word. What is word? Kalima. Okay? And kalima is the single of kalam. Okay? Wahiduhu kalimatun. Wa qawlu am. And general speech. One of them is a word. But when you can say, you can say a word and mean a bunch of words. That's the benefit of saying a word. May I have a word with you, sir? And you don't mean one word. You mean to have a whole bunch of sentences. That's what's called qawlu am, general speech. You understand that? So, it is a kalimatun. It is a word. Kalimatun dallat ala ma'na fi nafsiha waqad walam taqtarin bizaman. It is a word that points to a meaning in and of itself. We say again, in and of itself. What does in and of itself mean in one word? Independent. Right? It has this independent meaning. Why we say independent? We say independent because the thing is made clear by its opposite, because it's not dependent on another word to help define what it means. To make that one word beneficial to the point that the listener is not listening for other words to understand what is meant by that one word. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Can you follow me in that? Is that too confusing?
No.
So we say this is a word that is independent, meaning it's not dependent on any other word for you to understand what that word means. Give me an example. Hurry up. Give me an example. House. House. Tree. Give me another one. Masjid. Another one. I didn't hear you. Come on, let me get the word. Glasses. Navara. Okay. So we have some words, okay, that point to a meaning in and of themselves. The word house is a place that we know, that we call a house. A tree, independent. A masjid, independent. Navarat, the glasses, independent. We don't need other words to know what these mean, right? Okay, and we missed good. Good. Ahsan. Okay? So now, what is a fi'lun?
It's an action word.
Action word, right? It's an action word. What is an action word in English?
Verb.
We call it a verb, right? It directly corresponds with the English word action. You know, verb, right? What is it in technical term?
It's a word that points to a meaning.
It is a word. It is just like this. What's the difference? It is a word that points to a meaning in and of itself. It is a word that's independent of other words in order for you to understand it. But
The difference is it's connected to a time.
yes, lady, what did you say? It's connected to a time frame. The only difference between an ismun and a fi'lun is that an ismun is not connected to a time frame. Does that weaken an ismun? Or does it strengthen it? It strengthens it. Very, very important. Which of these three is the strongest? The ismun, because it's independent of time. It's independent of time. You cannot make a sentence in the Arabic, English, French, German, any language without utilizing an ismun. But you cannot make a sentence in Arabic without an ismun. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just think about it. Try to make a sentence and don't use an ismun. Literally or implied. Okay? Because you're talking about something. Right? There's a place, a person, a thing, or a description you're talking about. So how is your conversation or your statement going to be free of an ismun? What's the subject? What's the object? It's an ismun. Are we following each other? So ismun is aqwa min ukhtayha. She is stronger than her two sisters. And others say bisumuwiha. Why do we say bisumuwiha? Because from the same word, whoa. This thing fell out on me. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah al-azim. Did you do that? From the same word ismun, we get this. Samawat, right? What's that word? A samawat. What is that? The heavens, the sky. But what does it mean, heavens? It means lofty, right? It means high, right? Something way up. Fi sama, right? That's what sumu we have. Ismun. It's lofty. Your appellation, your name. Your lofty. What do we call your highness? Get it? You get the language? Femt? That's where we get this word ism from. From this same word, samawa, sumuwa. So bisumuwiha, from its loftiness, its highness over its two sisters. So a fi'lun is a kalimatun dallat ala ma'na fi nafsiha wa qad iqtaranat bi ihda thalathati al-azmina. And a fi'lun is an action word that's tied to one of the three time frames and is independent of other words to understand it. What are the three time frames?
Immediate.
Immediate. And when we say immediate, what do we mean? We mean
Immediacy.
What do we mean? We mean what though? What type of word? An order. Immediacy is tied to an order. Right? So that's the first one. What's the second one? Well, it's not the first one, but that's one of them. What's the other one? Past tense. What's the other one?
Present, future.
Present, future.